I'm Rochelle Ireland from Sneaky Bunny Sewing. Today I'm going to show you how I made a self-drafted crop top, this one that I'm wearing right here, based on a sports bra. Here are the seam work meld joggers, which I will be making in a future episode. I'm going to be making a matching set eventually, but today I'm going to make a self-drafted crop top out of my remaining fabric for my shorts, so I can fit them on my limited fabric. So here I've folded up some of the length of the pant leg so that I can make shorts and maximize the fabric for my top. And here you can see a little bit of a better shot how much fabric I have left to make my top with. So this is all the fabric I had left over. I had placed my pattern pieces on the fold, so there is twice this amount, bear that in mind, but not a lot to work with. So here's my thought process. I thought if I use a pattern that I haven't used before, it won't necessarily fit me, and then I'm going to waste what little fabric I have. So I decided what I would do is trace out one of my sports bras that I have right here. I know this one fits, so I'm not going to be wasting any fabric. I've never traced out clothes before and copied them, so this is my first time trying it. So here's the bra top, and as you can see, look at the back. It's a little crazy back there, and I don't want to make something so crazy. So I started by tracing out the front. I just traced it out and then added a 3/8 seam allowance all around the edges. Then I tried tracing out the back of the pattern, and I noticed after I kind of got through that it's really not matching up with my front piece. I can kind of see the front piece through the tracing paper, and it's really not matching up. So that was my first iteration, and I was like, okay, that's not going to work. So I decided what I would do is just trace out the bottom half of my bra top, kind of line up the center points, trace out the bottom half as best I can so it's matching up a little better. And then what I do is I fold it in half and copy so that everything will be symmetrical. This is what I did for the bra top too. So then I trace through the paper once and then transfer that design over to the other side. And the reason I'm doing like not half pattern pieces, I'm doing the full pattern piece, so I can lay out all my fabric and like make sure it fits and utilize all that fabric that I have, because I don't have much to work with. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. From all the bra tops I've seen online, they want like quite a bit more stretch, like 50% to 75%. And I'm not working with a athletic like kind of fabric. I still think it'll work, but I might end up putting a zipper down the front so I can get in and out of it, like an exposed zip is what I'm thinking. So there's that. So here you can kind of see, not the limits of what I can squeak out of this fabric. So one of these pieces will be for the front. I think I'm going to use this one because it's just a hair bigger. So I've been toying with the idea of like just piecing in this piece because it will be mostly hidden by that allowance and my elastic, and I don't think you'll even notice it. And I could also try to do it on the bias, and then it would be more on this side, and then the seam. That's an idea. I think there's more stretch this way, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Just why is this a little bit of stretch? Because that's one of my worries is the bra top has a lot of stretch, right? So you can see that. And a lot of recovery, good recovery. And this, yeah, I guess I'm gonna stick with this direction because I think I'm gonna get more stretch out of that because I have to be able to get the top on. I mean, if I don't have to add that zipper down the front, that would be ideal, I think. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pin it like this and cut it out. So this is what I got. You can kind of see here. That's my extra little piece that I'm going to cut off. This is how it looks from the other side. Okay, so this worked way better than I expected. I mean, it's a little wonk here, but I don't care. We're just squeaking out a little top. And look at that. Okay, so here I am at my serger. Oh, we can get it up over our head. Really short. And I knew it would be. And I didn't have much fabric to work with. I would have given it more length here. I could have. But I think this will work. I haven't really done too much self-drafting or copying of my clothes. I haven't done any. This is my first time doing it. But yeah, that is working and I can get it on. So no zipper, good news. And I'm gonna add some length by, doing that thick elastic all around the bottom to kind of help keep it in place. I'm gonna zigzag that on and then cover it with my stretch, my new stretch elastic. I'm now at my sewing station and I have got my thick elastic. This is for the bottom. So I'm just gonna zigzag these edges together. And then I'm going to zigzag it wrong side all along the bottom of my top. Just going to make sure you match up these ends and zigzag. Let's zigzag that on the bottom of our top. And we kind of want to get it even, right? So we're going to go center that and the back where I've zigzagged over that. That's going to be my center back. So in order to just kind of keep track of my center place, I'm going to add some little clips. So these are going to be our side seams. That's going to be our center front. This is going to be our center back. And we're going to stretch as we sew. Now we take our elastic, we find our center back, there's the center back. We find our top, find the middle point. Let's find the middle point of our top. Middle, back, stick that on, and do the same with the side seams. So this is to distribute the elastic evenly all around the top. I'm just going to line up my elastic with the edge of my fabric. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See? It's kind of just giving it a little bit more stability along that bottom edge so that it will stay put when I'm wearing it. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I basically did the same thing I did with the elastic, stretched around my body till I got like about a comfortable length. And this will be for my bottom of my top. I don't have serger thread that matches this nude color, and I want it to match because I want it to be invisible. So I'm just gonna zigzag on my sewing machine because I think I have a pale nude color for that. Zigzag these edges, overlap them, and create a band for the bottom of my shirt. And I'm just gonna overlap on the bottom of the shirt, probably like about that much, to cover that zigzag stitch on the bottom. And I'm gonna leave it open like this, but if I find that I don't want as much coverage with this elastic, what I'll do at a later date is I will fold up and cover the elastic on the back side with this other scalloped edge. So then what it will look like, that's what I might end up doing. But for now, I'm gonna leave it full length, and then I can decide how much coverage I want with this stretch elastic. And then on the back shirt, I have this panel. It was just a scrap. What I'll do is I'll sew it kind of overlapping in a curved arc so that the scallop goes all along here, and it sits over top that pale corally color, and then create kind of a panel on the back of my bra top. So there's one side, and I'm just using this little zigzag foot. Just going to faux serge, zigzag our edge with the sewing machine. I'm just kind of overlapping my ends. Change out our foot to a regular foot. We can do a zigzag. Cut our threads. That's going to be our band for the bottom. We'll put this little seam at center back. And I had some thoughts about the back of my shirt. So I've pinned it, a little scrap of lace I had, and I'm going to sew along that bottom scalloped edge and then along the top just to secure that. And I'm going to create a triangle racer back kind of. I'm going to bring it into about there, cut off these little triangles of fabric, and use the scalloped edge of these scraps to create a pretty little panel at the back of my top. For now, we're gonna zigzag the loose edge on the wrong side. See that little edge? We're gonna squish it over nice and flat and zigzag. Next, after I secure this panel on the back of the top, I'm going to be pinning this to the bottom of my top, just covering that zigzag that I made with this when I did this elastic. And yeah, and we're going to do some fancy cutting and pinning of that scalloped edge to create the panel along the back. That work. I really like the lightning stitch for securing that edge. You see how on the underside it's kind of loose? I'm going to go back in with that lightning stitch and just secure that top edge so it will lie nice and flat as I wear it. So there is my panel. I quite like that. I think that looks really good. And now we're going to go upstairs and pin this band on and start playing with the back panel and get that pinned together. This is our back panel. I'm going to work on this first because I'm having a lot of fun with this. And I want this flower to be at center back, so I'm just going to kind of like create a triangle shape. Kind of eyeball it and create a little triangle shape there. If I go like this and just mirror what I've done on this side, right? That should work. Oh, and then starting on this side so I don't accidentally cut my French terry. Go on this side, do the same thing. Okay, now you have your panel, just like so. I mean, that looks pretty good, but what about, let's get some more of that lace, and we're just gonna steal the scalloped edge from this lace and create that edge along there. There. And we have a scalloped edge on this side too. So once I'm done pinning this side, I will just do some cutting and cut my lace in half basically and use the opposite scalloped edge for the other side of my panel. Cut along this flower and have that peeking down below. And there, so we will zigzag along there, have a flower peeking down below there. Let's do the same thing on this other side using this scalloped edge again. We're just going to pin. Our panel. So then I just have to go in and kind of zigzag these edges here and here. And we'll have a really nice lace panel on the back. Since I'm here, I might as well pin in our center. Pin my bottom lace panel on. And when you sew it, just stretch it like that. Started on the outer edge, and now I'm going to go in and carefully pin the motifs. Here's what we have. One side along the scallop is done, and I've pinned just loosely along the motifs. It would be handy to have a clear foot for this, but I don't think I have the right kind of foot to do that. But you would be able to see your lace motifs through the foot then, which would make it a little easier. So, but this is working fine. So I am really loving how cutting around the flowers has created more of those flower motifs in my lace panel back, because I love those little flowers. So now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Here we have our lace panel. I love this. I am so excited about how this is turning out. It's time to sew on that bottom. Pretty happy with that. I think that's not bad. Yeah, I'm liking that. That looks like a little ruffle along the top. Cut some elastic. Kind of the same idea that I did around here. Only narrower elastic. And kind of zigzag it here. Stretch around these edges. So I've cut two identically sized, and I will zigzag it on, stretching as I sew. I'll cover up that zigzag with the scalloped edge. I'll use some more of my lace. That'll be covered with, I think that'll hug around my arms really nice. And kind of cinch in the neckline too. There we are. That's how it goes. And then we'll just cut some elastic. I'm just going to kind of trace my seam line, stretching a little bit to like figure out how much elastic I need for there. That's kind of what I did with the underarm, and then I gave myself a bit extra, and I think that'll work. Start on this edge, just kind of go up and around, doing the same process, stretching and zigzagging the elastic on the inner edge. And when I measured my elastic to kind of do it, I just kind of went around the seam line, like so. Just kind of stretched my elastic and kind of traced that seam line until I got all the way around it, gave myself a bit extra. And yeah, that's how I kind of estimated my elastic. I hope that makes sense. Take it upstairs and cut our lace to cover up these edges. I cut two straps, so those I will go sew together. And here's what I've been doing: 3/4 inch strip like this, not counting that scalloped edge because I want it to kind of go over a little bit, cover that raw edge. Then I'll show you how I cut my strips. Here's where I was cutting the strip before. I'm on the back side of the fabric because I'm going to use this chalk to kind of mark out my strip. Place my ruler below so I can kind of get a general idea, because you want the scalloped edge to be kind of like that. Mark on the edge of the ruler in about 3/4 of an inch. Just kind of winging this whole thing. And then once we got a few marks to kind of give us an idea of where our line needs to be, give ourselves a chalk line to follow. Because we know we're going to need some more for that neckline. So we're going to need 3 pieces of this scalloped edge to finish off the raw edges on our top. Here's what we do. Now we're on the right side. We always make sure we're on the right side of our lace, and we kind of start at this lace panel and overlap it. And without stretching, because the lace is stretchy already, so we do not need, stretch lace. It will stretch with the top. That's what it's going to look like. I think I'll push the seam allowance down towards the shirt and top stitch it on there. Yeah, do that on both sides. Then fold in that raw edge and then zigzag it from the top side. This is what it will look like on the top side, and that looks what it looks like on the underside. So I'll just do that on the other side.